there, I'm Dr. Deborah Scamba, founder of Heart to Heart Ministry and Coaching, a seasoned expert in Christ-centered healthy marriages, dedicated to guiding couples towards thriving relationships. Welcome back, my friends. This is episode 80, and I am so happy that you are here, and I'm hoping that today you will hear what you need to hear because God led you to this place, to this moment, to this podcast. And stay with me until the end to receive what He has for you. Lean into this moment and discover the power of unity in marriage. And what this really means to live out God's design for marriage that is so foundational but often overlooked. So what does it mean to have power? The power of unity? So let's just step back a little bit, because marriage was never meant to be a solo journey. From the very beginning in Genesis, God declares it is not good for man to be alone. That's when He created husband and wife. He created Eve, wife, from the rib of the husband, to walk side by side together as partners in life, in togetherness, in love, and in faith. But here's the reality. Unity just doesn't happen. It has to be cultivated. So whether you're married 1 day, 1 year, or a whole life, you cultivate unity day by day, and you never stop working on it. Right? Think about what it was like in the garden then and now, what it's like to cultivate the ground so that it is fertile, it is good to receive the seed that is being planted there. So our words are seeds, and we need to cultivate a marriage that receives the word of God, the words that we share with each other, the words that we share in love. And so it is something that needs to be worked on every day. We have a garden outside. We have a pool. We have flowers and planters, and we have grass. We have a beautiful lawn, and we have big trees and little trees and bushes and butterfly bushes. I don't know if you have any of them, but they get filled up with butterflies, and they love the purple flowers. Sometimes we see hummingbirds, and this is great joy to my husband and I. But if we don't tend to it every day, even when we get ready, even when the fall comes and the later it gets into the fall before the winter, everything still needs to be cultivated, right? We need to get rid of the flowers that will not bloom again, and we need to prepare the grass and all of those things. It all takes daily work. And in the winter, we get a lot of snow here. We need to take care of that. And what's so good about the snow, it returns to the earth and it fills up the reservoirs, right? So it is a cycle that we have. It is a daily time, daily moment. So in Ecclesiastes, it says in chapter 4, 9 and 10, verses 9 and 10, we read that 2 people are better off than one, where they can help each other succeed, because if one falls, the other can reach out and help. So if someone who falls alone is in real trouble, right? God's design for marriage is to flourish where both voices are heard, valued, and respected. So just like I described the garden that needs to be tended every day, a marriage is the same way. So if someone falls alone, they are in trouble, right? If you don't take care of your marriage, then it will go to the wayside. And if someone tells you that marriage doesn't take work, I would seriously reconsider that piece of advice. I would say that's not true. It does take work, because anything that's worth having is worth tending to. So, a wife may see details while that her husband misses, and a husband may provide perspective his wife hasn't considered. Two voices, two separate viewpoints, but both very much needed. Together, a husband and wife can discern God's will more clearly than if they try to do it alone. This is true, very true for my marriage, for your marriage. So as a counselor, I use something called the temperament assessment. And my husband, when I was studying to be a counselor, I gave it to my husband. He took the assessment. I had already taken it. And then we went over it together, each of ours together. And the assessment tells you, basically, it's your inborn traits. It's what God has given you to fulfill the purpose He has for you. And so it shows how you process information, how much control you want, how much responsibility, how much your emotions play in your relationships, right? You have your outer circle, your inner circle. So as my husband and I are going through this, we're looking at each other and we are like, wow, we are like two puzzle pieces. My strengths are his weaknesses, and his strengths are my weaknesses. And once we were able to figure that out, we were able then to move forward in understanding each other better. We also did the love language, the 5 love languages by Chapman. Forgot his first name, forgive me. But it talks there about the 5 love languages. So my husband's is words of affirmation. Mine is acts of service. Once we understood that, we knew how to love each other better, right? So we have a better understanding of how our emotions play in our relationship. And so how we are towards God, and how we are with each other, and then with others, right? So when we did this, and I do this with couples all the time, before and after I do, it's been such an eye-opener for them. I'm also a clinical supervisor for counselors, and when they experience it, they come back with the same thing. Like, the couple was just amazed. They thought, sometimes in my own experiences, the couples usually think they're going to find out each other's weaknesses, right? Or that they were right about something, and they find out that sometimes what they thought was a weakness was really a strength, and they got to look at it differently. It's just fabulous. It's so good. So Mike and I, we realized we were like two puzzle pieces that fit perfectly together. Now, we are imperfect people that are perfect together, right? So when I ask for my husband's perspective on something, or he asks mine, we listen to each other. We had to learn how to listen. We had to sit back and listen, because God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, right? So when we stepped back, we didn't interrupt each other. We are able to now have a way of thinking through things. So this is all part of living in unity. Life in unity, the power of unity, is being able to help your spouse flourish and walk in their purpose. So together you can discern God's will more clearly than either one of you could have ever done it alone. And that was worth saying again. I know I already mentioned that, but this is that moment for you to take note of. Now, I want you to think about this. Think about it in this way. One instrument can play a melody, but when 2 come together in harmony, the sound is richer, fuller, and more powerful. That's what marriage should be. Not one voice dominating, but two voices blending together in love and purpose. So, what happens when one voice is silenced? It's overlooked and unity suffers. Frustration grows. Walls get built. Intimacy fades. And the enemy loves to divide. In Ephesians 5:21, we are reminded that we are to submit to one another as a reverence for Christ. Submission here isn't about control or power. It's about humility. It's about honoring one another, leaning in, listening, and learning. And when we choose humility, we choose unity. So practical steps towards unity would be to practice this in everyday in everyday life. And here's one simple step. Ask your spouse this week, today, why not, right? Sometime this week, what's something that's on their heart? What do you want me to hear? What is in your heart that you want to share with me? Make it a safe place. Make eye contact. Face them. Put your phone away, your tablet, put them on silent, your watch, put it on silent. Just put everything down and away and be present in this moment. And as you listen to their heart with your heart and pause. You don't need to say anything until it's your turn. Don't try to fix it. Don't defend yourself. Don't argue. Just listen. You see, unity doesn't require perfection. It requires progress. And every time you choose to listen, to honor and to include your spouse's voice, you're strengthening the foundation of your marriage. I like to give an example of an I do and an I don't. So before I do, I just want to take a quick moment to let you know something really exciting. I'm going to be bringing on a guest, one guest every month on my podcast. And we're going to be talking about different topics. It's going to pertain to really what they do or, what they want to share about their everyday life in making a marriage unified. But here's what I'm really excited about. My first guest is my husband of 41 years and counting. And we've known each other probably about 43 years. Actually, 42 years. We're going to be married 42 years in a couple of months. So I'm going to say like for 43 and a half years. So we've known each other for quite a while. And we're going to tell our love story. And it's not the whole thing. I mean, I think we talked for like 45 minutes. But his heart is so sweet, and I loved that we had this opportunity together. Because when we look back, what we see and how we thought at the time, but how we learned how to be in unity, I think you're going to be blessed by listening to it. So that'll be in a couple of weeks. So an I do and an I don't for today is, well, this is to end with something practical to carry you through this week. Okay, so now I want to share an I do and an I don't. Here's your I do. I do make space for my spouse's perspective, even when I don't agree at first. I don't assume that I already know what they're going to say. I'll tell you, the longer you're married, the more you think you can read your spouse's mind, right? But you can't. And I know that I couldn't read my husband's thoughts either. And I thought I could, but I can't. And when I gave that up, I decided to listen to him, his heart. And it changed a lot of things in our marriage. So that change, and I believe any change that happens, any change that we want to see in our marriage begins with us. So try practicing this in your next conversation. And then when you're done, let your spouse know there's something that you want to share with them. Okay. And then it doesn't have to be the same time, but here's what else you could do. You could set a timer for no more than 20 minutes, because basically we just have like a 20-minute attention span. You got me for 20 minutes and that's it. And if you can't say what you need to say in 20 minutes, I think you need to work on it. So, unless it's your first time sharing, you may not even want to talk for 20 minutes, but 20 minutes, boom. And that's fair. You could say what you need to say in 20 minutes. Get some feedback, right? And know what you want to talk about. Don't try to change everything at one time. Stay in your lane. Don't go all over the place thinking you're going to solve every problem your marriage has in 20 minutes, but you certainly can start with just one. So, friend, it's a togetherness designed by God. And don't shut down emotionally. Okay? So, friend, your marriage is a partnership. It's a togetherness. It's designed by God. And when you honor both voices, you reflect God's heart. Unity isn't about losing yourself. It's about becoming stronger together. I always say to my family, my children, their spouses, my grandsons, I always say, aren't we better together? Aren't we better together with Christ in the center? Okay? So it's togetherness designed by God, where you honor both voices, you reflect God's heart, and it's not about losing yourself. It's about becoming stronger together, better together. I want you to have one ear to heaven and one ear to your spouse. Can you do that? Can you try that this week? Even if you don't get a chance to share something on your heart, you opened up a conversation that is to be continued. And until then, commit to building a better marriage. Until next time, let's commit to building better marriages where both voices are heard, where respect and love flow freely. And by God's design, unity will shine through, because this is what it takes to have a Christ-centered marriage. So thank you for joining me today. Share this podcast with someone, like it, subscribe, and until next time, may God's grace be upon you. May you offer each other grace, and don't forget that you have an I do and an I don't for everyday life. God bless. Thank you for listening. If you were blessed by what you heard, please like and subscribe, and even leave a review. In the meantime, I look forward to seeing you at my home, which is your home, at h2hcoaching.com. That's h2h coaching.com. Until next time, keep building your better marriage, rooted in faith and anchored in love.